wealth, let's say, is growing at 4%, and the CPI, or the consumer price index that most people measure inflation through, is going up at 3%. You think, oh, I am getting ahead. Hi, everyone. This is Jack Allo with another money episode. Today, I have a solo episode for you. I'm talking updating my price index. This is the Jack price index. This is for me personally. I got down the rabbit hole on this after hearing Michael Saylor talk on the Investors podcast about how everyone's inflation basket is a personal thing. Why does this matter to you? Well, if your wealth, let's say, is growing at 4%, and the CPI, or the consumer price index that most people measure inflation through, is going up at 3%, you think, oh, I am getting ahead. But there's a lot of issues with the CPI. For example, about a quarter of the consumer price index is made up of what is called owner's equivalent rent. Now, what is owner's equivalent rent? Owner's equivalent rent is basically this survey they do where they call homeowners and ask what they think their space would rent out for. Now, as a homeowner for the last 7 going on 8 years, I don't have as good of a sense of the rental market. So calling to me and asking me what I think the space would rent for, I honestly don't know. As well as I had when I was actually renting out rooms, or when I was actually a renter. Furthermore, who's getting these calls? I've never received the call. Have you received the call? Let me know if you've actually received the call from the government asking what your house would rent for. So that being said, I constructed what I thought was more a representation of my life. And granted, this is not all encompassing. I probably need to update some of the items that I include or exclude, and this could be something that changes over time, but it's at least closer to a representation of my life than what I feel the CPI is. So with that, let's get to it. So you can see, since I started tracking these in April of 2021, now, as you can imagine, during COVID, when you hear the government's printing money, all that type of language, you do start to wonder, like, yeah, where are they getting that money from? And I'm guessing this is causing all these prices to go up. So how is my life getting better or worse? That's kind of a tough question, or at least financially. So some of the things I included, and I tried to do these weightings, basically representing how many I roughly would consume, to get a gauge of kind of the weightings. But like I said, I probably need to update this in some, but this gives you a framework for how to go about thinking about your own personal inflation basket. But you can see a lot of the smaller items have larger weights, but like home prices in different cities have smaller weights, because I might only be buying one of these my whole life. So that was kind of the thought that went into it. But you can see overall, the annualized inflation rate from April to last December, when I recorded, annualized is about 15%. Now, I've actually heard Mark Moss, if you know him, he talks about using a hurdle rate of just the M2 money supply. I honestly don't feel qualified to discuss what all is involved in that number, but it's basically the whole cash, I believe, in the world, in all denominated fiat currencies. But once again, we don't really care about how much money we have. We care about how much stuff we can buy. So let's get updating this. So the first item is a matcha latte with soy milk at Starbucks. Now, I actually don't even like drink these anymore. So this, surprisingly, I don't know if you can see that, but it has gone down. $5.25. Okay. Okay, now I can buy more lattes if I want. Average of top 5 books on Amazon's nonfiction list bestsellers. Because, of course, I'm drinking my own matcha. Okay, so we got, I'm going to just write this down real quick. So 1485, 1449. You can be the best, John Pye, 1612. 1603. The Demon of Unrest, 1293. Cool. That has also actually gone down. Next one is cheapest Friday night flight to Vienna, under 14 hours, booked for 1 month out in the future. Okay, cheapest Friday night flight to Vienna. 11, 14 looks, and it's under 14 hours, which is what I said. 11, 14. Interesting. So that one went up a lot, but still down from before, actually. It's interesting. Okay. Now going to DTW. Detroit. 296, 360, 30, we'll see. Dang, so that one's gone up a lot. Hi there. How much is a matcha frappuccino right now? Yeah.
It's gonna be 680 for the 16 ounce and 630 for the 12 ounce.
Okay, awesome. Thanks. Okay, it looks like they have not really changed. I'm gonna just assume this is okay. This is one of my favorite restaurants. Once again, I haven't really been there in a while. I feel bad. I'm getting hungry thinking about all this. Let's give them a call too. Hi there. How much would a spaghetti with pesto cost? Okay, awesome. Thank you so much. Nope, that'll do it. 1835. It is almost a miracle. No price change. Woo. Okay, internet service. Decided to ask my wife, but we got it lowered to 55. So that's good for us. So we were able to cut that. Gallon of gas. Now, and that went down too. Tube of toothpaste. I thought I just paid. Was 48.38. That went up a little bit. What 125? That's what it says. Insurance for basically asking like what's the max out of pocket. Now here we're getting into more of what I would call like store of value components, like just how you'd want to store your wealth. So gold is at 26.31. Just going up a lot. Silver 31.25. Oh, I don't have that. Actually, Bitcoin 5.8. See, Bitcoin. No, I just did an episode on retiring off Bitcoin. Go check it out. 75. That's up a ton. So see, most of the ways people are saving are up. Like this is significant. Like these are big numbers. This is really big numbers. Let's share NASDAQ. I bet NASDAQ's up even more, right? 19,700. Wow. And guys, these are annual 1.11 times 1.11. Like so an annual basis. Median home price in Charlotte, NC. A little bit. What? Almost a 40% jump in 1 year? So maybe I got the wrong number. Wonder where this number came from. So these are locations like, so I live in Charlotte. I have rentals in Bay City. My brother used to live in Nashville, so like I said, so some of these probably should be changed. My basket should be shifting a little more. But if you wanna see a video of me actually updating my basket for the items that are included and how I would make that adjustment, let me know, because it's probably gonna be a good bit of tinkering, but with the weightings, but to kind of make it fair going forward. But if you're being what? 1.3 million. It does say a 34% increase. Wow, holy shit. That would almost be like 100% increase compared to, I don't know, something's not adding up, guys. So, because I feel like I typed in the same things last year, but it's just goes to show you how arbitrary this stuff is. You can see some, I mean, Vienna, I mean, going up 36% a year. And like that's very desirable for a lot of people that like that environment. So, I mean, Tokyo, Japan. Okay, so the average price of a new price. I want median. These are like 150. It's like this is going down now. Still wicked. Actually, it doesn't sound as expensive. I mean, Tokyo is huge, so it encompasses a lot. And this is just average. And I would think the median would be lower. We're just going to go with it. Okay, so we're getting, um, you know, an annual inflation rate of about 17% overall for my basket. Um, so it seems to jive. I mean, some of the stuff is surprising. I mean, a lot of the things that people actually want or that they save in are going up a lot. I mean, all these store of value, I mean, Bitcoin, 35% annual. I mean, Vienna and just housing prices is just crazy. But basically, so why does this matter? So this is telling me if I use these as like concrete and um kind of like a representation of my life or and what I use my money for right now and for what I aspire to acquire. You know, I do like house real estate. I do like being able to go to certain places and um, stay in our real estate. So, but basically, you could infer from this that if your wealth isn't growing at, for me, like 17%, basically, I'm getting further and further away from being able to acquire a lot of the things I'm currently buying and currently wanting to buy in the future. So if my, you know, if my salary, for instance, or my net worth is only going up at, um, you know, 10% a year, well, that's not good for houses in Vienna that are going up 36% a year. So something to think about, a way to conceptualize what we're talking about. I like the setup. I'd be curious what you would put or put in your inflation basket, and I will see you next time.